Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, stovetop stuffing is selling Thanksgiving pants that expand as you eat.
I'm Tony Kornheiser, and that'd be great if I wore pants when I eat.
What are you wearing, some sweats?
Where do they sell these things? In the stuffing aisle? Where in the supermarket can you buy a pair of pants these days?
Let me just tell you.
That is one-stop shopping, isn't
that's
it?
like at these Costco, these big box stores, where you can buy a car in aisle 1, a TV in aisle 2.
That's why I don't go.
And baggies in aisle 3.
My feeling is I don't want to buy steaks next to where I can get my brakes repaired.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
That's not for me. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Case Keenum could lose his job.
What?
The Knicks stand up to LeBron, and the UCLA players head home. But we begin today with the Carolina Panthers trampling the awful Miami Dolphins last night in passing. And, 4 touchdowns. Carolina is now 7-3. Wilbon, do you trust that they are a good team?
Not yet. Not yet. We see teams go out for 8 or 10 games and have one personality, one set of results.
That's right.
And then on the back end, they could have injuries. They could not play as well. They could face a tougher schedule. They could choke. Now, Carolina gets some benefit of the doubt because we've seen them in the last couple of years take this through and follow through. And Cam Newton has done this. So I'm leaning toward giving benefit of doubt. I don't want to see Cam Newton always running for this many yards because, Tony, you get hit. And I know that he and Ben Roethlisberger and a lot of quarterbacks are big, strong guys like Moose. But you don't want to see them getting hit. And when Cam Newton starts running now, I'm cringing.
By the way,
Meese.
I think it's Moose. I think it's both singular, but I think, but I'm not sure.
You're an English major. You're supposed to know these things.
Well, I'm not a biology major or a zoology major. Here's 2 things that surprised me about Carolina this year.
What?
One is the overall notion that division, which was once the worst in the NFL,
the best.
now is good.
Yeah.
You have Carolina at 7-3. You have New Orleans at 7-2. You have Atlanta a bit revived at 5-4. And we think Tampa Bay should be better than their record. What totally floored me, because so by the way, if you're good there, you're probably pretty good. They're number 1 in the league in defense.
Yeah.
I had no idea that in yards allowed, they were. I had absolutely no idea. So I'm inclined to say, given that combination, that they're good.
Do they have enough offense? They beat a Miami team that is listing now. Miami got off to a fairly good start, and everybody was praising Jay Cutler.
Well, you were waiting in the wings on that.
I was waiting in the wings. I was waiting in the bushes on that one.
I know.
And so now Miami's back to what they are, what we thought they were, and he is.
That's right.
And so they beat them. So I don't know how much stock you want to put in beating Miami.
Here's the thing. You look at the NFC. Who do you like better? Do you like the Eagles better?
Eagles and Rams.
You like them better? Okay, but let me go back to what you said before. In very recent vintage, this team has been to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So that's why I tend to like
them. Do they have enough offense? Having gotten rid of
Greg
Kelvin
Olsen's coming back.
Greg Olsen is
coming back in week 11, I'm told.
He's maybe doing some TV first. Maybe he'll be like Jay Cutler and just retire and go to the booth. Oh, wait.
I doubt that.
I doubt that, too. Tony, another NFC team that we're still trying to get a grasp of is the Minnesota Vikings. And Coach Mike Zimmer may make that even more difficult if he decides to change starting quarterbacks in the middle of a 5-game winning streak. Zimmer is allegedly toying with the idea of benching Case Keenum to bring back Teddy Bridgewater, who last played 22 months ago. Zimmer says he's undecided about his trigger man going into Sunday's unexpectedly hot matchup with the Rams and Jared Goff. But, Tony, how dumb would it be to take the ball from Case Keenum, given what the Vikings have done with him?
So I don't even understand this a little bit. Because, as you say, Teddy Bridgewater, who is not Joe Montana.
No.
Teddy Bridgewater hasn't played in a year and a half. Case Keenum is 6-2 this year. Let me repeat that. This year. I got stats here. He's got 11 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions. His rating is 14th in the league, top half. So he appears to be a game manager.
How about
Why would you get rid of him?
Last week he threw for 4 touchdowns and more than 300 yards on the road against a Redskins team that could still be in the playoffs.
So why, if you're Mike Zimmer, and I think we should point this out, Mike Zimmer was a defensive coordinator. He may know nothing at all about offense. Absolutely nothing. Why would you put your quarterback in the position of having to deal with this now?
You're not going to. I think, Tony, and we know that all NFL coaches, save one every 100 years, they're all fascinated with subterfuge and trying to make somebody else watch some extra film. And so isn't this what that is?
But you put your guy.
Now you're not really hurting him.
You're putting doubt in people's minds.
You whispered in his ear before practice, "You're my starter. We're going to put this out there to try to make the Rams do some extra prep work." Not buying it? I wouldn't buy it either.
You know what? But that's maybe what they're thinking. But again, you're looking at a guy who has won this year for you.
I'm saying
has
you
not
can't
complained.
do it.
No, you don't
If you put Teddy Bridgewater in and you go south, it's all on you and a dumb decision, unless the analytics people are whispering in his ear.
Mike, he went out so long ago, it's pre-analytics. He'd been out for a year and a half.
That's pretty
As
good.
luck would have it, Wilbon, you watched the Knicks and Cavaliers last night.
Baby.
You were the one.
No, I was.
You
was
saw
more than
Enes
one.
Kanter and
You were the
LeBron
one who
James
weren't
go
watching.
jaw to jaw after a small dust-up between LeBron and the Knicks rookie Frank Ntilikina.
Come on, get it right now.
Kanter later said, quote, "I don't care who you are. What do you call yourself? King, queen, princess?
That was funny.
Whatever you are, we're going to fight. Nobody out there is going to punk us. I'll die for my teammates."
Good for him.
Don't pick on the rookie, pick on a man. Unquote. This was after both he and LeBron were given double technicals. Well, the Cavs won because LeBron was great late.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you applaud Enes Kanter for standing up to him.
I know more people care about the NFL. We had to start with the NFL. The NFL was dreck last night compared to this. This was theater, and you should have been on a proper channel. And you,
I didn't know
New
where it
Yorker
was.
who's turned your back
I didn't know
on
where
the
it
Knicks,
was.
you were not watching.
I didn't know
This is
where
awful.
it was.
Ntilikina,
I watched CNN.
I give the first applause to him because LeBron did what American players do. They want to punk the European. They want to look at him and say, "You're not really tough. You're not like us. You're not from the streets of America. Get out of here." And Ntilikina shoved LeBron right out the way because
That's right.
he's 6'4.5", 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan. He ain't afraid. That was important for the Knicks to find out. And of course, Enes Kanter, good for him.
Yeah.
And in real time, he might not have been real comfortable, but he stepped up for his teammate. Look, the result of the game doesn't matter except the Knicks did choke at the end. But down the road, if the Knicks bond because they stood up last night, they shouldn't have blown a 23-point lead, but they built one. This is an important development for your former team.
Two things here. One about Kanter, okay? Kanter is a tough guy. Kanter, when Kevin Durant, they were all in Oklahoma City last year. When Kevin Durant left, he stood for Russell Westbrook. He stood for his teammate at that point. He has also stood up to the Prime Minister of Turkey, which is his native country. So I would suspect that later on this year, when LeBron becomes the general manager, he'll look to get Enes Kanter. The second thing is, I was talking with our pal David Aldridge today about this because they didn't understand it because I don't know Ntilikina at all.
Why not?
And what he said was that LeBron, for context here, LeBron had publicly said...
Dennis Smith, the Knicks should have drafted Dennis Smith.
Exactly. So Ntilikina was upset. Now, why did he say that? Because
he was taking a shot at Phil.
A shot
so
at Phil.
Ntilikina got caught in the middle of something.
A shot at Phil because of the stuff with
Let me just say
posse.
this. It's okay for LeBron to take that shot. It's okay for LeBron to test the Knicks. But the Knicks stood up.
They did.
And so good for them, and particularly for that rookie.
And by the way, what is LeBron doing on the subway? And tell him to get his phone out of people's faces. Out of your face.
What
Don't
was the
take
last time
pictures
you
of
were on the
everybody's...
subway?
Recently.
And by like the 1960s
By
or
recently,
the 70s?
I mean the 19-something.
LeBron, how about that?
No. Get out of here with that.
LeBron's going to be in a limo like you?
No, he doesn't have to take pictures of everybody in the subway.
Everybody takes pictures except you and me.
That's right.
That's it. So we're apparently only minutes away from 3 UCLA basketball players, LiAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill, arriving back in the United States safely after an alleged shoplifting incident in China landed them briefly in jail. The legal matter is still pending in China, but the immediate question now is what should officials at UCLA do about the 3 players and their status for playing basketball?
When they land, presumably in LAX, people from UCLA should go out there and welcome them warmly home. They should make sure they're physically all right. They should make sure that nothing happened to them and they're fine. And then they should suspend them for at least 5, maybe 10 games. And if they think that any of these players are one and dones, they should suspend them for 20 games so that the pros won't get a good look at them. And these players were extraordinarily lucky. And for the first time on this show, we were able to say President Trump had something to do with this. He made a phone call and they got released. You don't shoplift anywhere. You especially don't shoplift in a non-democratic foreign country. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If the UCLA people, starting at the very top, don't understand this is a primary teaching moment, and that is what you're concerned with, not with your trade situation on a proposed agreement between the Pac-12 and some huge business in China. No, 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 no. You make an example and you teach these kids something. And now I do mean kids. And you don't treat it like the daddy of one of those kids.
No, you don't.
It's not a big deal.
No,
it is a big deal.
It is.
Because they represented your institution and they allegedly went out and did something unbelievably stupid that could have cost them, I don't know, for a period of months or longer.
They could have been in jail. They could have been in prison
so
very
you know
easily.
What? Shut them down for a minimum of 10 games, and you don't care what the daddies and the mamas say, because you tell them to take a walk if their daddies and their mamas are upset.
There's an interesting thing that was suggested to me in the newsroom today. It's not my idea, it's somebody else's idea. The State Department might actually get involved in this. The State Department might actually want to say to the Pac-12 and UCLA, hey, us in China, we're trying to work out deals here. We can't have this stuff, so you better put discipline on these kids. That is meaningful.
Obvious discipline.
Meaningful.
Don't make the PR move.
A few weeks ago, when Derek Jeter, number 2, was getting ready to take over the Miami Marlins, he made it clear he might be interested in unloading Giancarlo Stanton's massive contract. Now he seems intent on doing so. The big suitors are reportedly the Giants and the Cardinals. But Stanton has a no-trade clause, and the Boston Herald reports that Stanton does not want to go to St. Louis. Well, then, if you were Giancarlo Stanton, would you waive your no-trade and play for the Cardinals?
You asking me if I want to go to St. Louis?
As a baseball player.
Joke?
Wait.
I'm teasing. Let's go to why you signed a no-trade clause in the first place, so you can have some control over your career.
Sure.
And the team recognizes that. You negotiated with them. They recognize that, and they allow that. So Derek Jeter's inherited that contract. So I'd say, no, I'm not making it that easy on you, Hall of Famer. I'm not. You are going to explore several trades and come back to me with something that I can accept, or trade me to one of the teams that might not be in that no-trade umbrella. So, no, I'm not going to just go to St. Louis without Derek Jeter exploring some other options for me.
This is interesting to me because I know you're a Cubs fan, and I know so you hate the Cardinals. I get that.
But I admire them, too. I do.
But the two cities in America that treat their baseball players the best are St. Louis and Cincinnati. Everybody always likes playing in St. Louis. For St. Louis, this would be finally getting Albert Pujols back to some degree.
Yeah.
You know, a slugger.
28 years old, a guy with 6 or 7
getting him
great
back.
seasons
So,
left.
I mean, if I were Stanton, I would ask around the league, and I would say, is St. Louis a really good place to play? Plus, they win almost all the time. It seems to me he's an L.A. kid, and you don't hear the Angels and you don't hear the Dodgers.
You don't hear him yet.
Right.
We haven't even gotten to the winter meetings. We're just dealing with the GM meetings and early in those.
There's only 2 teams that I would think would not have that much interest in them if they could keep their rosters intact.
Who?
The Yankees with Aaron Judge in right field, and the Nats with Bryce Harper. But
he's a better player than Bryce Harper.
This kid,
better power
Stanton,
numbers.
is signed through 2029.
Harper's not.
No,
so you
that's
make
right.
that trade.
That's right. Yes.
Look, first of all,
I don't think he's better. I don't think he's better than Harper. I don't.
He's better than Harper. His numbers are better than Harper's. He may still go to St. Louis, and God bless. He could and should perhaps, but you don't have to make it that easy on Derek Jeter.
No.
Do some work.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to hand over something that I negotiated in good faith with.
Welcome back to Pardon the Interruption, presented by Sky Vodka, part of Happy Hour.
It's time for toss-up. 2 men enter, but only one has extensive pregame preparation on his yellow legal pad.
Thank God.
What's first?
Toss-up more likely to make it to playoff selection unbeaten. Alabama.
Explode.
My head's not going to explode because I'm going to say Alabama, because Alabama's got St. Leo this week.
Right.
You know,
Well,
the SEC,
doesn't matter.
they have their homecoming tour.
That's right.
They don't pay anybody, but yet I got to hear this garbage every week
It's Mercer.
about strength of
They're playing
schedule.
Mercer.
Whoever, it's
It
St.
doesn't
Leo,
matter.
and you know what I'm doing
I
with the
understand.
context of that is.
I understand.
The SEC
For all
goes on a
you Georgetown
vacation
fans.
week.
That's right.
Every year about this time.
So you think Alabama?
So the answer is Alabama, but
Okay.
playing Ohio State in the Big Ten title game in Indianapolis, that's a tough
It's tough.
one.
It's
That's
tough.
hard.
And by the way, if Wisconsin's not undefeated, they're out.
Okay.
Next.
Toss-up, they play tonight. Which team do you like more, Duke or Michigan State?
Well, my daughter-in-law is a Dookie, so it's obvious which way I'm going to go. What gives me pause is they've got only one returning guy, Grayson Allen, who I think is a great college player.
He's their second
But they have
best.
4 freshmen. No,
He's
I know
their
you like that.
second best player.
No, so they have 4 freshmen, but you know what? With Duke and Kentucky, they have that
have 4
every
freshmen
year,
every year.
and they know how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give a lot of respect to Tom Izzo because he schedules so hard before they get into conference play. But Krzyzewski owns them. This is remarkable. Krzyzewski's 10-1 against Izzo, which I wouldn't believe.
I don't have a daughter-in-law from Duke.
Right.
But I'm just going to say this. I'm conflicted because of the coaches.
Right.
Big Ten, Sparty.
Right.
But Mike Krzyzewski, Chicago Sports Hall of Fame class of 2000, maybe 14.
When were you in the Chicago
With
Sports
him,
Hall of Fame?
with
With
Mike,
him.
on his coattails,
Good to
squarely,
know.
Chicagoan.
Humble brag.
Marvin Bagley III.
Yeah.
Not the other kid who just had the returning.
Grayson Allen.
Not Grayson Allen. Marvin Bagley. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
24, 25 points, a couple of games already. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Maybe the first player chosen.
Next.
Him.
Toss-up, they play tonight. Who would you rather play for, John Calipari or Bill Self?
Okay, let's understand something. If you can play for Self or Calipari, you think you can go to the pros. So let's look at the NBA for a second. Bill Self has sent 16 players right now to the NBA, which is a lot. Calipari has sent 26, which is an amazing number. On that stat alone, because I think my odds would be better, I'd rather play for Calipari than Self. But I mean, they both have a national championship. They're both fun people. I just think the odds and the stars he sent to the pros too, like Wall and Towns and Cousins. So I would say Calipari, but you know what? I'd rather play for Krzyzewski. I would.
You know what? They couldn't be more different on a personality scale. And so it was Calipari and Self. I like both of them tremendously.
Yes,
they are charismatic
likable
people.
Yes.
I mean, if you ask me where a big city kid would rather go and play, Lexington or in the middle of Kansas, the Midwesterner, I'd probably say in the middle of Kansas. I can't. I play for either one. Whoever came to my door and said, I'll sit and eat dinner in your parents' house, I would want to go to that guy.
Aren't you amazed that he has 26 current NBA players?
But I think Self is underrated.
Next.
Underrated.
Last one, toss-up. Who would win if they fight? Oscar De La Hoya or Conor McGregor?
Well, Conor McGregor last fought about an hour and a half ago, and Oscar De La Hoya last fought in 2008.
9 years ago.
He hasn't gone to work in 10 years because this fight wouldn't be till 2018. You know who else hasn't gone to work in 10 years? Michael Strahan. You think he could sack anybody but Kelly Ripa right now? The answer is no. De La Hoya says he would knock out McGregor in 2. I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe that at all. McGregor probably won't take the fight because he's got a lot of money now. But I hope the fight would end with him kicking De La Hoya in the head and we can all go home.
Why do you hate De La Hoya?
I don't hate De La Hoya, but I don't think he can do this.
De La Hoya, the one
I actually
thing,
think he's
the only
charismatic.
advantage he had at one point of his career, had he early in his career fought Pacquiao and fought some of the others, he was a better offensive fighter.
Yes.
Okay? And so when last we saw McGregor, he had a defensive god out there who never really hit anybody. But it's been 9 years. It's not automatic.
10 years.
Like Mayweather was automatic.
No, he fights
De La Hoya
all the time.
But De La Hoya.
Drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 69th birthday, Prince Charles. What's his last name? He's Prince Charles. He doesn't need a last name. I wonder if he'll ever be king, or will his mother and his son William make a deal to bypass Charles altogether? At least he's happy with Camilla. Wilbon, your thoughts on the monarchy?
I can't publicly air my thoughts on any monarchy. If you had to have dinner 2 years ago with Prince or this Prince, which one?
2 years ago when Prince was still playing and singing. That Prince, probably. Happy anniversary, UCLA. On this day 5 years ago, you announced that the USC drum major was no longer allowed to plant his sword in the UCLA logo when the two teams faced off at the Rose Bowl. Two of the top quarterbacks in the 2018 NFL Draft face off on Saturday. UCLA's Josh Rosen, USC's Sam Darnold go head-to-head. Maybe those three UCLA basketball players can shoplift the Trojan sword.
Do you think those quarterbacks, either one of them, are really good? Can they be good in the pros?
I'm not sure. At this point, it's all hype. And a melancholy happy trails to Bobby Doerr. The Boston Red Sox Hall of Fame second baseman died yesterday at age 99.
Wow.
He was on the great Red Sox teams of the 1940s with Ted Williams and Johnny Pesky. Doerr was the oldest living major leaguer and the oldest living Hall of Famer. The oldest living Hall of Famer now is Red Schoendienst at 94.
And Schoendienst managed that great Cardinals team in 1967 that won. And went back in 68 and lost.
Great player.
Not many players left from that era or managers.
No errors today. Let's go quickly to the big finish.
Let's do it.
Lonzo Ball sat out the fourth quarter last night. The Lakers won. Connected?
Let's not go crazy. They beat the Suns, even though I thought the Suns were getting better. They beat them. Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger are the rookies of the year. Managers will be announced tonight. Who?
I got Dave Roberts. I got Paul Molitor.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger told the fan in Pittsburgh that the league needs to get rid of Thursday Night Football. Big deal?
They're awful. They put players at risk. They're not entertaining. The league needs to get rid of those games. Phillip Rivers put himself in the concussion protocol. Couldn't miss his first start since becoming the Chargers starter in 2006. Your thoughts?
He and Eli Manning, I think they came in right